Marie, I have a question for you. I know you've been a little bit frustrated over abbreviations. Myself as well, you know, we are in an industry with a lot of abbreviations. So is it CR? Is it CSR? Is it sustainability? What is it? Could you give me just a little bit clarity here when we have the expert on the floor?
True, Lars. Very, very true. Frustration, that's just the middle name of it. Not only that CR is a challenging topic in itself, on top of that, there is a jungle or a world full of abbreviations. And not two parties are using the same terminology. And it's still quite a young field, it's still under development, and we are looking at the harmonization. But for example, there are two options, or there are several options. But I wanted to, shall I take this to the center? Okay. Well, for example, between corporate responsibility and corporate social responsibility, both terms are quite often used. And we have chosen corporate responsibility. And I wanted to show the reason why. Most often, CR is drawn like the three circles, a classic. You have environmental, you have economy, and you have social here. And the challenge with CR is finding the right balance between the three of them. In that term, then you will get a long-term sustainability. So you will have finding the sweet spot of win-win-win for a better long-termness. And then, in the name here, just only referring to the social part, that will not give you the full picture. And if you then would call it corporate environment, economy, social responsibility, it will just be ridiculous. So we have cut that out and made it very clean cut and logic and common sense and said corporate responsibility, CR. Thank you. You can remove this one now. Yes.
Take it to me. I keep this one so I remember it next time.
Yes. Now we will take a walk behind the scene of the CR strategy, or maybe we can say in our heads, all of us. The strategy has a very clean process behind it. We have a new CR strategy. It was adopted in August, or approved in August last year, and we have also we have rolled it out since then and reported in an annual report. The process behind it goes together to what, for example, Lars Berg spoke about and what Mats spoke about. It starts out with our stakeholders. And it has, the description here has a shape of an hourglass. So we listen to our stakeholders, we evaluate and assess, we choose, and we report back. So that is the rationale behind the strategy. Why is this then so different and so difficult and yet challenging? Well, CR has a lot of differences compared to financial information and financial data, more traditionally tools and guidance for that. But one of the most largest differences is that for CR, it's mostly governed by soft laws. And with soft laws, you don't have a clear guidance, you don't have a clear start and a clear ending point, you don't have something very concrete and praxis telling you exactly what to do. Instead, we would say that CR, to be successful in CR, our stakeholders, to meet their needs, they often not always, but some of them, and quite often, they expect more. Let me show you. If we say that we have laws and regulations as a baseline, our stakeholders in some cases and some areas, they have higher expectations on us. And that could vary for different fields. Could be one type of expectation for climate change issues and environment. Could be one type of expectation for social aspects and human rights. So finding the level of expectation, it's basically how high should we jump? And then putting an action plan and taking us there. That is what we are doing. And that is CR. And the result then, after listening to stakeholders, and in particular investors and our owners, and the result from last year, having several meetings, has been that it's been a lot of focus on risks and CR risks, and in particular human rights risks and anti-corruption risks. So that is one of the reasons that we actually thought it was a good idea to listen and to create this platform for enhanced transparency and open dialogue. So last year's focus, I hope that, we have had a lot of meetings with you, keeping us on our toes. So with those, stressing those focus. So right, Sarah and Annette, Emily, I think we have everyone here in the room been putting a lot of good pressure on us. So over to the strategy with a clean approach. We have a structured approach to CR. We have divided our strategy in 3 blocks. First, we have the left-hand side block, which is a block we are not working with. And that is simply because it is not material to us. We are not a car manufacturing company with a lot of input material, nor are we like a clothing company, H&M, having a lot of cotton, which requires a lot of water consumption. Instead, we have 2 blocks of material areas, with the middle block as risks. And those are areas that you have been addressing, and which are also the global compact areas and very baseline CR areas, where we just need to be in compliance. Otherwise, we will not get a good rating at GES. and we need to be in compliance for not being able to lose our license to operate. So those are quite self-evident. We also see them to our business more as risks, since all of them have a downside, while the upside is quite limited. For example, on corruption, it is difficult to be the best on corruption. If you are the best, then you have 0 cases, and you have that over time. Or at least you address your cases in a very good way, so that you're in compliance. But that is the best. On top, there is not much more of an upside. You cannot be better than that. So, on the left-hand side, how can Tele2 create value? Well, this is our reply. These are for the future, and where we will rise and create opportunities. And Mats started out by presenting them. We are spoiled with having our own in-house NGO in the Kinnevik group, in Reach for Change, working with child protection. And on top of that, we are also blocking child sexual abusive image, CSI, the abbreviation, another abbreviation. So children's rights are extremely important to us, and we are doing what we can within our operations and operational control. So that's where we take our responsibility, and that's where we are working. Operational control and/or significant influence, that's what we can do. The second, privacy integrity, It's at the very core of our business. And also, I mean, going from voice to data, I think this will only increases in importance. So, and getting right there, that is our future, basically, and maintaining stakeholder trust. Finally, with environment, we see ourselves as a huge facilitator here. Even though we do not have a large environmental impact ourselves, we could, through using our smart products and services, we can help clients reduce traveling, transportation, and paper consumption. And by doing that, that is our contribution in combating climate change. So then also a little sneak peek behind the scene, even one step further. This is not, the previous information have been published in the annual report, but this is not something we have published before. And for all the areas in the strategy, we have we have put definitions for everything. So, and this is just one example. I chose human rights. So, sorry, Lars. Technical support. I just went to the Royal Institute of Technology, but that is prescribed by now. Thank you. I thought the green spot here was, well, maybe not push anything else. Okay. Anyway, so for all and each areas, we have defined what we mean with being compliance. So, for example, we said that we should comply with human rights laws and declarations, and all human rights. We cannot just select and choose, because there will be different situations where those apply dependingly. We should have no discrimination, no child labor, no freedom of association, etc., etc. We should have a clean supply chain. We have worked very hard with our suppliers and having them, and business partners, having them signing our business partner code. Secondly, we have measures of success. What is a good day at work? When are we doing this in the way we want? Well, then we said that, okay, how can I show that we are doing good here? We report on fines and sanctions for non-compliance, cases of discrimination, etc. You see. And at Tele2, we love to measure and report things, right, Lars Nilsson? Because what we measure, then that is what we manage, and that is what we get really good at. So, believe it or not, all those fields have ended up in data and KPIs, and belonging to the Global Reporting Initiative, the standard we're applying. So we have data and measures gathered, and those have been presented in our annual report for our CR performance. And this is where we try to do it on an equal terms as for financial data. So, finally, before we enter into the very, I guess, interesting Q&A, with the previous speakers, Jonas, Niklas, and Jonas, with a very interesting and exciting topics there with Kazakhstan and SORM. Finally, we believe we walk the talk, and we see great opportunities ahead in our 3 focus areas where we will stand out and create opportunities. We strongly believe in transparency, and we have, by this day, we have tried to be transparent with our way of working, how we think, and where we are and where we are going. And we would like to say that it's not that we believe that we know it all. Instead, this is a journey, and we are transparent with our journey. So while the structure of CR is still quite young and under development, I think that all of us jointly here will have the pleasure of taking it to the next level. Thank you.